Yo, what is going on, Full Heel Podcast? I need to find a way to get a star wipe or like some kind of wipe away for
Like
transitions.
this is like one of those like need to know from back in the 80s.
Yeah, something like that. I want to welcome back my guest, Ryan. What's going on, Ryan?
Back to work, so it's kind of
Hmm, hmm,
down to
hmm.
the dumps, waking up with an alarm and having to walk in the dark and all that fun stuff and have to be a member of society.
Uh, Today we're going to be talking about our favorite Intercontinental matches. It's the 40th anniversary of the belt. But first, please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, YouTube, all that good stuff really helps out the show. Please rate the show and review it on iTunes. That's probably the best. If you really were to go somewhere, that's where it helps out the show the most. iTunes. But subscribe on all platforms. Hit up the rewrites. They're playing a show sometime soon. But check out the rewrites on Facebook. Other info's on there. If they do a show after Saturday, you guys know we'll probably do a Fight Companion Saturday, Poirier, Nurmagomedov. And check out Son Caesar, Red Mathis, Son Mathis, whatever Quadro wants to call himself. Go ahead and check him out. He's on tour with Louis all over Chicago, hyping up Louis Mendez's new or first CD, rappers from Chicago. So go ahead and check them out. Support local talent. How you doing, Ryan?
Or international talent if you're a Canadian listener.
Yeah. How you doing besides getting back to work?
Doing pretty good. Got my first black eye from my son the other night, so that was awesome.
Nice.
In the crowd.
Before you said what it was, I thought he headbutted you. I thought he ran into you with his like giant head because kids have giant heads. And
Yeah.
doof.
And it always weighs them down at the worst time possible.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he was standing at the other end of the room. Was like, I hate Daddy. Chuck's Paw Patrol toy, and I wasn't paying attention. It just like caught me right in the eye. So first, like I'm like take my hand away. And there's like blood all over my hand. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Like, where's the blood coming from? And Kara looks at me. She's I'm like, oh god,
you bled a little bit too.
Yeah, like right underneath it because they have like little pointy ears and tails, so he just caught me in the right spot. But yeah, like the whole bottom of my eyes swelled up and bruised and little nick, but healed quickly. So
my brother caught me in a similar situation, but we were playing. He wasn't saying he hated me. He probably does, but he wasn't yelling it at the time. But he ran at me, and I don't know what happened. He just came head first, and I boof, and I had a big old shiner.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty nasty. And then I got beat up in third grade by some kid, and then by beat up I mean he pushed me down on the floor and then kicked me in the eye, and I was like, oh
Jesus!
Shit. And I had like a black eye.
Oof.
Come at me now, bro. Come at me now. Kick your wait, hold up. Give me a week. My back's a little bit.
Then come at him.
Yeah, wait. Give me a week. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna hold this show off a week. This is gonna be released next week when my back is better. No, but yeah, no. I've probably 2 black eyes. Out of MMA. But I don't think I got a black eye like during sparring and shit because we wore headgear.
Like yeah.
Yeah, I did have like a lot of scratches. Like you did get a lot of scratches and shit just from abrasions and being kicked in the face by accident during jiu-jitsu.
Or fighting a guy who's a sissy and just wants to scratch.
Yeah, that too. During like the first 3 months though of taking kickboxing, I was very disheartened because I probably told the story on here. I was taking kickboxing, and 3 months in, I go against some random dude that was never there, and I think I'm all badass. I think I'm all cocky, trying to get something in. And he's just like nothing. He's just like flowing, like pop, like keeping me away with his jab and doing everything and anything he wants. And then he lifts his leg and kicks me in the face.
Ooh.
Yeah, like not even hard or anything. Just like, yeah, whatever, bitch. Stay away, you fucking asshole. At the end of the class, man, I leave, and I'm like fucking like, oh, man, this fucking sucks. Shit. Fucking what the hell? And then my friend's like, what's up? I'm like, dude, I just got my fucking ass kicked, dude. He was taking the class with me. He's the one that made me take the class.
Right, okay.
And he's like, that guy that you were sparring with was the instructor before D took over. And I was like, nah, stop bullshitting
Oh,
me.
that's awesome.
I'm like, stop bullshitting me. You're just trying to make me feel better. He's like, no, he's like, when I first started taking classes, that was the guy. Or when he couldn't be here, when he first took over, that guy would take over. That guy took off, and he was, I don't know, either he was at some other gym at the time, or
Out winning titles.
yeah, something. I don't know, but I was like 3 months in, and I got kicked in the face a couple times. I was getting jabbed. I couldn't get anything. I couldn't land the jab. I was like trying to get away and like getting popped in the face. Not even hard or anything, but just like, what the fuck? And I was like,
I mean, and it's those moments when like you watch him and you're like, man, come on, all you gotta do is duck and hit, and then when you put yourself in the situation, like, oh yeah, there's levels.
yeah, your
'Cause
face.
anyone can sit there and watch and say how easy it is. Just gotta know when to do this and know when to do that. But actually, like being in that situation, man.
Teaching my niece, I've had to teach myself how to teach her. I know how to do it.
Right.
It's in here, and I can do it, but now I have to express it in a way that she understands it and she can do it. I gotta explain to her how to shuffle jab, what a shuffle jab is. I had to learn what a shuffle jab was. I knew how to do it, and I was doing it all the time, every single time, but I didn't know it was called that.
And then also,
I learned it was from Stephen Wonderboy.
okay.
Like I just knew that's where I learned the name from. I was like shuffle jab, and I look at the shuffle jab, and I'm like, wait, that's just a distance jab, and just come in at a distance. Like it's just, I guess you just have to shuffle your feet a little bit, and that's what they call the shuffle jab.
So I can understand where you're coming from, like saying like how you know how to do something and trying to teach it. Because I know in the past, like, if I had co-op students and I was teaching them stuff in the kitchen, I'm like, come on, it's not that hard. I'm doing it, but I'm not teaching them. I'm just doing it, making them watch me. Which, they're like, it is different to know how to do something, and it is and how to express it so that someone can learn from you and then put that into practice.
Yeah, but once you're able to express it, I think you learn it a little bit better, man. I've been able to learn a
Right.
little bit better. Well, just because I've had a focus too on my jab. Like I have to just jab with my knees. I don't have to, but like I tell her, I'm here with you. I'm like, I'm not here to boss you around and make you do shit. I'm here to do it with you. So no complaining.
Right.
So I jab it out too. I'm like, hey, you think the jab is boring? I'm gonna jab it out here with you too. Let's do fucking 3 rounds of jab. Let's do 6 rounds of jab. I'll do it too.
Just keep going.
Yeah. Then look, oh, my arm hurts. Ah, too bad. You get used to it. Fucking pace yourself, all right?
Well, that's it. Yeah. Like and that's it. Like it's like if you run a marathon, you don't just go out there and you run the full thing, right? You slowly ease your way to doing more and more and more and more and more, and then eventually, what made you super tired early on, you can do with complete ease.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what she was noticing, that my cardio was building and I was getting better. And I was just trying to push her more. You know, come on, you got to push through the tiredness. Doesn't count anymore. Not with me. I'm getting better. You got to get better. But they started school again, and my back's getting better, so I'm gonna give it a week and see what's up. If my back is better and she can figure out something scheduling wise, it'll be fine. She's gonna get out like a 2. She gets here like a 3. We're working out at 4:30 anyway.
That's all right.
Yeah, so it'll be fine as long as she has the energy to do it.
Right.
Which we'll see now, because you know she was all uppity when I would come back from work and like, hey, let's go work out. I'm like, hey, give me a sec, all right?
Yeah.
Step off. Now, when she gets out of school, I'm like, hey, let's go. You were all uppity. Now you better come at me with that same attitude. But it's going to be fun. It'll be fine.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to get on their asses, too, about school. My sister was lenient with all that bullshit, so.
Get discipline in all areas.
Yeah. Soul, body, and mind, or whatever that bullshit is.
Yeah, soul, mind, and body. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, something like that. You watch UFC? We got a new 115-pound champion.
Yeah, it was well, I woke up and I think like 5 minutes after I got up, the fight was over. Yep. I completely I knew there was a card and I knew it was in China, but for some reason I thought it was going to be like a Saturday night in the States, Sunday morning in China kind of thing. But I don't know why I didn't think it was going to be Saturday night their time. But I saw a couple of fights, couple highlights, but I think I saw the entire main event. But that was it.
Co-main event was pretty good too. I forget his name. The Leech. Li Jing, like no.
Was that the one that had like the last couple seconds in the fight knockout?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, that's the
oh,
guy.
okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah, pretty good. So UFC is gonna have, well, has a foot now in the fucking Chinese market. So that's pretty crazy.
And I guess they had a lot of successful Chinese fighters over the weekend too, and they're all saying like once they can get some paperwork, they want to get to the States, make themselves into bigger names, and once you get into the States, you can start cross training other gyms too. You can only get better and better and better.
Bringing over their martial arts, bro.
That's it.
Where it started. Um, anything else, Ryan?
Yeah.
I've been doing zero.
Yeah.
Well, you were barely ending your vacation, right?
I was
Because I had a 3-day weekend, but my 3-day weekend consisted of me laying down, sleeping, standing up, laying down, sleeping, standing up.
yeah. Well, Kara went away on Monday morning with the kids, so I had like the last day of my vacation was just by myself. So I just really just absolutely nothing for the better part of Monday, and then last night they were gone still, so I just chilled out last night and they're back now. So,
Look
but
at
yeah,
us.
it was a long weekend. Just did nothing, stretched it out.
Oh yeah, your back
So
has been fucked up too, right?
yeah, just trying to. It's like 100% better than where it was, but I can feel the tightness coming back more often. So I just trying to keep myself a little bit looser, doing small stretches while I'm at work or at home, and that trying to. If I'm bending over to pick something up, I try to do it more properly, not just like lazily just bend over for the sake of bending over. Try to make it worth it. So, be more like water.
Go with the flow.
That's it.
Yeah, I've been doing the same, just trying to keep off of it. Lift when I have to only, and really get under it. Get my center of
Right.
gravity under that shit.
I watched a lot of wrestling. A lot of wrestling this weekend.
Yeah, dude, I've been going through Raw. What month am I in? I think I'm in June. I'm coming upon SummerSlam. I think 1993. So I'm gonna finish. Well, they're an hour long, so it's
So
not that bad.
that's SummerSlam '93. That's Lex Luger Yokozuna. 'Cause that's where the Lex Express is happening. I think that starts off in the 4th of July weekend. He slams Yokozuna.
Okay, because
I
right now
think.
they're doing the Narcissist. They unveiled him at that Raw or the
Okay, maybe it's 90.
4. Because this is
Maybe,
93.
yeah, it could be 94. I'm thinking of then. I'm trying to think what SummerSlam '93 would have been. Drawing a blank.
Sorry, I'm just tweeting out the link.
Uh,
Yeah, no, I've been watching a lot of wrestling too, and then I guess yeah. Before I forget, Ryan, you're done tomorrow. You're done. You're done. Do you wear your Packer shit today? Is that
all
what it
right.
was? Oh, that
Yeah.
I didn't see. I didn't even think about it till now.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it till now.
And you know it's not from the '80s, so you know it's not anything for the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. No, I'm
That would
I
hurt a
got
lot more if you lived in Wisconsin.
yeah, I got low hopes for the Packers for the season, so
I've had no
I'm
hopes for the Bears for a couple 10 years, 20
a
years.
lifetime.
Yeah, my whole life. Because they
No,
won in '85. I was born in '88, so.
well, I've actually found a lot the last 3-4 years that with sports, I've seen the teams that I like win, and like if now I'm at that weird stage where if they don't win, if they're garbage, I've seen the good times. Nothing like like the Patriots are gonna crumble and it's gonna be a long time for them and their fan base doesn't see it coming. Like it's hard to maintain something for a long time. So I
Jordan
just
effect.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Phil and Jordan, yeah, that's exactly it. Like if Bill and Brady leave, that's it. But no, so I'm just kicking. Like I find that I just enjoy watching sports for the sake of watching sports nowadays. So
Yeah,
makes it a
well,
lot easier.
I only stick to the sports I like now: wrestling, pro wrestling, and
Yeah.
MMA.
And MMA.
Yeah, I don't know. I might catch an occasional Bears game. I hate the whole fucking fantasy football aspect of it.
Yeah, I tried it 1 year and I just couldn't get into it. And I actually had a guy today talking to me like, "Oh, how many teams you got?" It's like I got 8. I'm in 8 fantasy football leagues, and I'm like, I don't play. He's like, "How do you not play? It's so much fun." I'm like, I tried it. It does nothing for me. I don't know. I don't get a kick out of it as much.
Yeah,
rather play video games. That's you
exactly.
can, like to me like you it's like 'cause you have to. It's more like being like an actual GM. You can actually build things and or build your team from the ground up. I have to watch out for salary caps, and there's so much more depth to it. To me, I much more prefer playing the games than the fantasy. But
100%. If I weren't doing the podcast, I'd just be playing video games instead. But
yeah,
podcast is fun. So I guess just fucking let's talk about what we're here for. Our favorite Intercontinental Championship matches. So like we were saying, it's been what 40 years.
yeah, 40-year Sunday. This past Sunday, the September 1st.
Okay, so that's when Pat Patterson won it in. Where was it?
They always say that he went down to Brazil
Mm-hmm.
and won like an 8-man tournament and all that kind of stuff. But they said I've
But that's all the work, right?
Yeah, like Bruce
It's
Richards
all
talked
fake.
about it. It was all yeah, like there. I think the like, he. I don't know if it was. I don't think it's DiBiase. I think he has an early fight with DiBiase, but I forget who he fights. But he has a really early on match, and it's just for the. I think they merged two territory titles. I think it was, and they just put it as the Intercontinental. But it was supposed to be like all the best North Americans and all the best South Americans, and they went to Brazil, kind of like UFC style. But it was pro wrestling, and Patterson walked away.
Yeah, so Pat Patterson is for anyone that doesn't know who Pat Patterson is, he's the gray-haired one out of him and Briscoe. Briscoe's a black-haired guy out of McMahon's Goons back in the day. I don't know how else you guys would know who they were.
Yeah, they were just yeah, them and Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, but he's the one with the accent and the one with the
He's from Montreal.
gray
One
hair all
of
the
my
time.
people.
Okay, so it's a French Canadian accent.
Yeah, and he's still with the. He did a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of booking with them for years and years. He's been with the McMahon family for a long time, and I think that yeah, I know he has. I think he might be one of like the first like really well publicized, known to be a gay professional wrestler back even back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and which is like unheard of to be considered like to be out or have a lot of the boys know with the like the locker rooms and having to work with them and that back then it was a lot different time frame where people that weren't really down into that kind of stuff. So for him to not be ashamed of it way back when is kind of groundbreaking, if you would.
He won the 24/7 championship, I think, recently.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think he was one of the guys that won it. They did like a whole on the reunion show, or yeah, they did like
That did he lose or beat
he won
the
it and then lost
girl?
it. I
Like,
think he might have beat the girl.
might okay. I think that was a what was that? The blonde girl, right? Used to be in
Mm,
ECW.
yeah, I forgot her. Kelly. Was it Kelly that won
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I think
I
she.
forgot exactly who was it that won it, but someone won it. One of the chicks won it, and then he took it off of her. Eventually, it wound up back on R-Truth or on somebody from the main roster.
Right.
Forgot exactly who.
Yeah, because what's her name? Maria ends up pinning to get it, and then her husband pins her when they're in the hospital, and then he ends up dropping it to whoever.
Yeah,
It's,
the kiddos are right. Right.
yeah, they're just screaming.
They're just being
So
kids.
Patterson became. Okay, so the first one is Patterson became the first champion as a result of defeating Ted DiBiase to win the North American Heavyweight Championship in '79, and then he defeated Johnny Rodz in a fictional tournament in Rio de Janeiro to unify the two titles, the North American Heavyweight and the South American Heavyweight. So that's where.
Mhm.
So it was a tournament that started June 19th, 79, and went until September 1st, 79. So that's how it worked.
Yeah. So transition. I would say the most noticeable, or not the most notable match. I would say for the Intercontinental Championship, it's I picked Machoman versus Steamboat, and heel real quick. I don't think it was that great. This is my first time watching it, or actually like breaking it down and like trying to enjoy it. I look the match itself. There's no mistakes in it, no botches.
A lot of fast pace, a lot of pins, a lot of
Hmm.
like,
So
lot of
yeah,
transitions.
and like I saw it, and and I kind of started thinking about it, and I broke it down in my head, and I think I kind of explained it to myself. I've seen a lot of this. This was the first time a lot of people were seeing it on the main stage. There was a lot more
Yeah,
holds. There was a lot more catch wrestling. There was a lot more just like slams. A
like
lot more selling.
WrestleMania 3 is, for all intents and purposes, it's WrestleMania 1.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania 1 and WrestleMania 2, they were big and they really did push the company to the next level. But really, it was WrestleMania 3 that really put all these guys on the map. So you watch, and listen, Hogan and Andre, you can't take anything away from it. You watch that match. Everyone says it's like like it was a moment. They're great moments, but when it comes to the actual matches, WrestleMania 3 was like leaps and bounds still to grow. Like Macho Man has like tons of great matches coming up. And he had even better matches as the Intercontinental Champion, but they weren't seen.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good match, but yeah, it's the WrestleMania 3 effect on it.
And yeah, and I think thinking about it more and letting it settle in and kind of thinking about the time. I think I want to give it more credit than just looking at it first off and being like, this match sucked. Like I said, this wasn't really seen a lot. This was 90.
No,
Well, no, not even. This is what?
no, this is 87.
Yeah, this is 87. This is early on. So they're doing a lot of fast paced back and forth, arm drag, exchanging of moves, high flying moves, Macho Man doing his patented stuff, and then Ricky Steamboat doing his stuff. There was an even exchange of offense on both sides with a story and great commentary with the WrestleMania 3 aspect. The kiddos?
Yeah, try and get everyone ready for bed.
I need to get some theme music for the kids.
Yeah,
Baby shark,
Yeah. No, yeah.
Ryan's kids.
Have the rewrites do a version.
I've been trying to get their. I should remind Toucan. Their instrumentals, just so I can do shit over them. Because that's what I did. I just took some part of their instrumental from the first one, but that way I can overlap it over. Like if I did do by myself ones or unboxings, I could just put it in the back. Or once I start editing shit, because I need to buy a new computer soon.
Right.
Yeah, but I think I'm not giving this match as much credit as it deserves on those aspects because they built off of this match as well. Like from years on out, this match was built off of, and it was the go-to for a lot of these wrestlers to put on a great match. Hey, if you want to put on a fantastic match, just follow the blueprint that Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man put on.
I think also a lot of times, what's different about those matches and why they meant so much is because there was your occasional Saturday night's main event, your occasional random Saturday night or Tuesday night event, but WrestleMania was the only pay-per-view. So you're like, unless there was like a random TV change, which was, especially back then, very rare, you were champion for a full year. So there was so much story and so much buildup, whereas now there's pay-per-views every single month. There's
Rick Rude, baby.
Yeah.
No,
you got between your Raws, your SmackDowns, like there's so many times that you can have the title on TV and it can be changed more often. So back then, like these feuds would go 6 to 8 months. So when you finally got them in the ring, that people were like, "Oh, finally!" Like this, it's like when you like an MMA event or it's like, well, it's like think about MMA and boxing, right? When they sign the contract, like, oh, I cannot wait for that to happen. Like you have all this anticipation, this build up, and it's 3 months away, and you can't wait. That's what it used to be for back then. So you could feel the atmosphere in the Silver Dome because these people wanted to see Macho Man and Steamboat finally settle their differences after months and weeks and all that of going back and forth. And that really did help amplify the story a lot.
Yeah, and the story was I don't know what the story was, but this guy had
Macho was the champion for about a year. year and a bit maybe at this point, and he had a match with Steamboat, and he had attacked him on the outside
And
and
he hit him
used
with the bell.
the bell against the
we go.
guardrail, and so
I lied. I
George
didn't know
Hamill,
what the story was.
that's where so George Hamill Steele was involved because he had a thing for Miss Elizabeth, and he wanted to have Steamboat's back against Macho Man because they had a little thing going
he's
at
in
the
love
same
with.
time. Yeah. So Savage had a thing against Steele because he wants Macho Man's woman.
Well, he stole her once, right? That was part of the thing.
That was part of the So there's a lot of build up with
I
that.
wish I had a blue tongue right now. Can we pause this? I'll be back 5 minutes.
Go
find,
visit.
I think kids have candy.
Liv Morgan. Go see Liv Morgan.
Yeah, right. Why does he always have a fucking blue tongue?
I know.
You better have a hairy back. You better get some fucking hairy ass back or something.
The best part I think with that whole match is when Ramon soon goes, "Would you look at the back and the back of the head, or the back of the head and the upper back of George the Animal Steel?" And Jesse Ventura right away is like, "I'd rather not. I don't want to make myself sick."
Yeah. It was great commentary. They have two of the greatest doing it.
So
there was just so many aspects that made it. It is a great match. It's just
I don't think it's as good as everyone says, but it's definitely an important match. That's what I don't 100%. Think it's a. I think its importance to the company and to the title is more than the match was.
At the time, it was the greatest. I would say.
Oh, for sure. At that point,
like I mentioned earlier, they built off of this match. This match is looked at as what to do in that Workers' Man title. And does this lead Macho Man into getting a title shot? Yeah, right? Or has he been champion already? No, definitely not been champion.
No, he wins the title the following WrestleMania. The next WrestleMania 4, is when they have the tournament. Hey, buddy.
Ooh, Conor McGregor in here?
Yeah.
The Notorious?
What's going on?
Oh, he's got that badass T-Rex. That T-Rex was the craze in the toy world.
No, I know. Yeah.
What is it, like $30?
Yeah, 30, 40. Hey, boo.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Did you watch wrestling with Ryan?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, she watched the Macho Man match with me today.
What?
Yeah, asked me all the questions.
Yeah. Macho Man Randy Savage.
He does a good job, doesn't he? Yeah. You getting scared? Why aren't you saying anything?
Welcome to Kiddos, everybody.
Oh, bye, Connor. Okay.
Bye.
Want to say bye, honey?
Bye.
Okay, Carrie, close the door, honey. Thank you. I love you.
I was about to take a hit, and I'm like, wait a minute. Let me put this down for a second. Figure things out.
Daddy, what's that? Yeah, Raph has asthma.
He's a shaman, and that's helping out his back. That's the demons escaping his back muscles. Some kind of Native American ritual he does.
Yeah, you know how those Mexicans are, right?
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, I never really did care for this match. Watching it today, I guess I kind of forgot how fast paced and how the action was nonstop. Like, they were constantly pinfall, like kick out and quick move, pinfall, like this going. One guy selling for a good 5-6 minutes and then switching it around, getting in the ring, getting out the ring. One thing I liked was watching Macho Man use the rope so much. Like, because people don't use the ropes as much anymore.
The second rope, just even that for that aspects. But yeah, no, Macho Man does like going up to the top rope, second rope, just doing axe handles off of each one of them. Doing
like the clothesline, or the one where he runs, holds the guy's head, then jumps over the top rope and like clotheslines in that way too. He does a lot of really good agility moves for being a bigger guy.
Yeah, 100%.
He's almost like the early Chris Jericho, if you would. Mm-hmm. Chris Jericho kind of was a bigger side of the lighter wrestlers, and that's kind of where Macho Man was. I feel like Macho Man wasn't like your Hulk Hogan's or your Ted DiBiase's.
Do you remember what the finish was? I didn't write down this finish. I wrote down all the other ones.
Yeah, it was So the referee gets knocked out. Macho hits the elbow drop. Ventura's like, 1, 2, 3, come on, it's counted to 20. Like, he's going off. Macho Man goes to get the bell. George Animal Steel takes it from him. Macho to the top rope, and George Animal Steel he pushes him, but they say that he hit him in the head with the bell.
Yeah.
Macho Man's kind of groggy, and he goes for a body slam. And as he drops him, he hooks the leg. Ricky Steamboat hooks the leg in a small package. And it was good. It was such a lazy small package because you could tell that these guys were just so tired that they're like, I'm not holding my legs up anymore. Like, I cannot physically hold my legs after what we just did. So I kind of appreciated that because it kind of added to what they've just been through.
Mm-hmm.
And he just gets a quick 1, 2, 3, and then he gets George Animal Steel, picks him up, and fireman carries him out of the ring, gets to lay on that carpeted back.
I have hairs on like patchy on my back. It's weird. As I've gotten older, it's developed. I don't know why. Too much.
Don't shave it.
Too
It
much
just gets thicker.
information.
I shaved my chest one day. I was like a werewolf now.
Oh, Seinfeld over here?
Yeah.
I've never tried to shave my chest. I used to shave my face when I was a kid. Now I got a beard. I don't know if that.
Well, they say they
work.
always say once you shave it grows in thicker.
Yeah, I didn't have anything though, but there's a lot of people that didn't do that and don't have beards. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who
I
knows?
used to shave my head, and I have pretty thin hair, so.
God damn it. Ryan, don't remind me. Balding over here, bro. We're bald. Yeah, like I said, not the greatest of matches. For its time, yes, but...
And for its importance, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see why people would put it as a top 5 match, but I see a lot of matches that rank above it, personally. I mean, I guess also I'm looking at it from someone that's in the business. I'm sure guys that are in the business look at it as they look at it in a completely different way. So,
from here we move on to one of your matches. So I picked the Machoman, yeah, versus
Ricky the Dragon.
And you had Perfect versus Bret Hart, SummerSlam 91.
91, yep. Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, so we broke one of these matches down recently for King of the Ring, right? And
that was their second match 2 years later.
And Perfect mentioned that he's like, hey, you might have gotten the upper hand, but he's like, you didn't get the best of me.
Right.
He's like, we'll see what's up.
And this match here, for those people who don't know, Perfect fought this with a broken tailbone and bulging discs that he was told not to fight anymore. And he wanted to do the job for Bret because they're both second generation. They both came up together around that early 90s WWF when they both kind of were getting their pushes around the same time after Perfect returned to the WWF. And Kurt Hennig's he's a class guy. He doesn't want to just be like, I'm the champ, but I can't do it here. He wanted to make sure that Bret went over, told a good story, and he retires for year and a half or so after this. He becomes more of a outside the ring kind of guy, and even after he comes back, he doesn't wrestle as much. He does a lot more enforcer kind of roles or special guest referee kind of roles, commentary stuff.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna touch on it. Pritchard mentioned that they had bought into an insurance claim, and he was able to get a paycheck from WWE for doing announcing, and he was able to get a paycheck from them for retiring due to health injury. WWE later came at him and asked him to come out of retirement, paid him a certain amount. He wrestled a couple more years, retired again with the same company, and eventually WWE got him out of retirement again after, I think it was another broken back.
Yeah, and that was right before he went to WCW.
Final.
Yeah.
My back.
And it's the same thing happened to Bret Hart with the Lloyds of London. When he
there
came
you
back,
go. That's what it is.
Because Bret Hart came back from the Lloyds of London and from his stroke and everything, and he won the U.S. title, and he was fighting Vince McMahon at WrestleMania and all that stuff. And then they said, listen, if you keep doing this, we're canceling your claim, and you don't get a single penny from us anymore. and he's like, "Okay, Vince, here's your title. I'm out." And he does appearances and stuff and like one-offs, but he doesn't risk losing the insurance anymore.
Yeah, smartly. But no, he does get injured.
And it does show like knowing how messed up his back was. And I think about myself like a couple of years back and last week, and like with you right now and what you're going through, and like how much it sucks to be like, oh, and
I'm getting an inversion table.
And to think that he had bulging discs, broken tailbone, and the bumps that he was taking on that, like in that mat, like, good God, like
on
the fucking medicine that he was on that night. Oof.
Some crazy ass muscle relaxants for sure. Wish I could get some of those.
A little bit of that, a little bit of the Peruvian marching powder.
Oh, what? So Bret's winning for the first 5 minutes. Very aggressive, tossing Mr. Perfect out of the ring, getting his crucifix, getting a 2 count with it, teasing his sharpshooter, but instead of kicking him to the abdomen, it's too early on to go for that. Tosses Hennig out, and then Hennig's like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here." He's the champion, so he's like, "I'm just gonna take off. I'm gonna keep the title."
I'm just gonna, yeah.
Bret runs out and rips off half of his singlet, tosses him back in, and which allows for Perfect to gain some momentum by, I forget exactly what he did. Okay, so Bret puts him in the corner. The ref is trying to separate them, and while the ref is trying to separate them, he hits Bret with a right hand, which they try to sell as a cheap shot and super illegal because the ref was trying to take them apart. At this time, you know, they're telling more of a story. They've abandoned much of this. They used to do
that a lot more. Which I'm surprised they don't do it a lot more, considering that with like boxing and MMA, it's like when the referee splits them up, they like, keep your hands up at all times. Like they could definitely sell action today using other combat sports, but I don't know why they abandoned it.
After the ref spot, Bret gets tossed out, and Mr. Perfect kind of keeps fucking with Bret outside, either tossing him outside or throwing him against the guardrail. Right. Just kind of keeping him on the outside and doing like dirty tactics. Bret kicks out of the perfect plex, which is Kurt Hennig's finishing move. For those of you guys that don't know, the fisherman suplex.
And I like
this is a long time ago. This is 1991.
Yeah. And it's I love Grill Monsoon because no one kicks out of the perfect plex, right? That's
it. Yeah.
So as he hits it, Grill Monsoon's like, it doesn't look like does he have the fingers hooked? He didn't have them hooked. Bret kicks out. Like, he really sold that the only way that Bret was able to kick out of it was because the fingers were not linked together, so like he didn't have the full grip on Bret.
We're not so perfect. They kept mentioning.
Yeah,
not so perfect. Let's see. After this, Bret goes for a suplex, gets a 2 count. Small package gets a 2 count. Elbow off the second rope. His patented elbow off the second rope move by Bret only gets a 2 count. And this is kind of coming at Perfect for doing the same thing previously in his offense and trying to a bunch of 2 counts on Perfect's behalf. So Bret's kind of just mounting his offense, trying to get the 2 count, teasing at it, which leads us into the finish.
I was gonna say also the one thing that we learned in this match as it progresses is Mr. Perfect has some like the worst wrestling hair because he comes out, it's so nice and curly, but by the end of it, it's like a little like Jerry curl going on.
Too short at the time.
Yeah.
At one time, I grew out my hair I had it like shoulder length when I was in high school.
Oh damn!
Don't ask why.
Because you knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta enjoy it now.
The phase, like I have curly hair too, so at this point it would like afro out and like some would be flat. It was just really hard to fucking maintain. So I kind of feel for him because at that point you could still fuck with it, but he had it super wet and it just Jerry curls up and it was just all over the place and it looked super weird. Not super weird, but it just looked funny.
The second my hair grows to my ear, I get like those hockey hair where just like there's like it curls out. Like you see like the 17-year-old kids that play hockey get with their helmet hair and stuff like that. My hair just naturally curls. I'm like, fuck, gone. See you later. I'm not dealing with this.
You blonde bastard.
Me and Mr. Perfect, man. We got the.
Get a comb, you can wave it out. You ever seen the?
Oh yeah. When I
You
my
ever
daughter.
seen the white boys, the little white kids now, that like try to act ghetto and they get combs and they're like, check out my waves, and they
No,
comb their hair. They
really?
can like get a comb like a brush, and they brush their hair down like so like it's super short, but it looks like it's waving because it stops, but then another one
Right.
continues.
See, for me, if I
Hilarious.
comb my hair straight down, it
hilarious.
almost looks like a mushroom cut. Just like natural, just goes straight all the way across. I'm like, yeah, no,
Mine looks straight for a little bit, but once it gets to a certain length, it starts curling, and then
just
it becomes an afro-ish kind of thing. Not really, not super nappy, but it does curl up, and if I pick it out too, it'll be like one of those insane in the membrane.
Oh, Cypress Hill.
Yeah, the Cypress Hill guy afro, the one where it's like kind of parted in the middle.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I could get one of those, but not actually. No, I can't now. I'd look like a Mexican Jew of sorts growing it out, like with the bald part, but like long curly hair.
When we get Raph to 5,000 likes, we're gonna you can grow your hair like really wonky.
Yeah, just let it grow out, and it's super
that'll
thin in the front, and like
that'll be your reward to us.
I'll Krusty the Clown it up. I'll dye it green, and hey, I'll do that one.
That would be amazing.
Okay, so
the finish of the match.
my back doesn't spasm on the coughs and sneezes anymore.
Hey, that's good.
I get up on my first try without. It just aches on the first couple of moves, and then it gets.
Then good to go.
Yep.
Good.
Getting better. It's been getting better. Yeah, the finish. Mr. Perfect is laying away at Bret's abdomen, decides to leg drop him, kind of going for the crotch, and the ref's like, hey, don't hit him in the nuts, and he's like, yeah, whatever, dude. I'm hitting him in the abs. So when he does the leg drop, Bret catches the leg on the floor, locks his legs in the sharpshooter position, and rolls him over, and then sits up and does the sharpshooter. That's it. Ka.
And I swear the referee calls for the bell before Perfect ever taps out, because he's like shaking his head no.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like, and then
no, I can't handle it. That's what he's saying, Ryan.
Oh, maybe that's I don't know. And then but Bret, I don't know. Like he holds on to that for like a couple seconds longer.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh well, messed up back, but Bret don't care.
Mm-mm.
My people know. I am the champion now.
People were making fun of Fat Jericho this past weekend. They're like the weight's helping him with the sharpshooter or with the or actually with the lion tamer because he has more weight. Yeah. Like he's got more weight for the back.
Balding Chris Jericho destroyed me.
Do you know why he's bald?
Is it from Fozzy or
no? Like they took out a chunk of or a patch of his hair because he took a move on the Titantron area, on the ramp area, on the steel. And
really?
And yeah, he has like on his. I think it's on his Instagram or Twitter, where he shows. He's like, damn. He's like a ripped off a patch, and it's like a patch right here.
Okay,
like,
no, I
like it is thinning up, but I think he does have it here. Like it's not bald like Shawn Michaels had it. I know what you're talking about.
Because when he gets the title, he was bent down. His head down. Like he had like hair all here and all along. I'm like, what's going on right in the middle? Like
no, he definitely got a chunk torn out.
Recently. Okay, that makes me feel better then. Doesn't make me feel as old.
He is like 50-something, isn't he?
49 in October.
Actually, before we go any further, that was the finish of the match. Way better of a match. Awesome match. It gave Bret his offense, gave Perfect his offense. Perfect was definitely playing the heel in this one. Bret was playing the baby face. And fantastic match.
This is one of those ones I always go back and forth. Like I've watched this match, this one in SummerSlam '92 when he takes on the Bulldog. I watched these matches a lot, and they are in the top 5, maybe even top 3 all time for me. Like when Intercontinental titles was always my favorite title in WWF, because growing up I hated Hogan, couldn't stand him as the babyface. When he was NWO, I'm all in, but when he was Hulk Hogan, I just never cared for it. So I never really cared to watch any of his matches. So for me, it was always watching the Intercontinental title.
Come on, brother.
And this was one of the first ones that I watched. So for me, like this was like the hook, line, and sinker.
Get on the red and yellow Harley, brother.
I've come around. Like I can watch him now, but as a kid, like he just, I don't know, just drove me insane. He was too good. Plus, I was like a scrawny kid, and he's got like these big arms. I'm like, man, fuck you. Just when Stone Cold comes along, I'm just gonna drink beer. I'm like,
19-inch pythons, brother.
24-inch.
Oh, 24-inch, brother.
Oh, that I think 19 was that when he went to WCW and he went off the juice.
Well, because he was forced.
Yeah.
It made everyone get off the juice for a while. Yeah. Once they started investigating Vince McMahon and they were going to put Vince in jail.
Yeah. But no, like this match, I love this match. They tell a great story, I think. And it's when you have those two guys that their styles just mix perfectly. Like, even though it's not the brawn versus the speed, it's two technicians going at it. They make it work, which sometimes it can be too much and sometimes it's not enough. This one here, they get everything in properly, tell a good story. Bret gets his first singles title.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it was his first
Ryan
one.
Ryan facts. I need to get drops. I need to get like a. Yeah. I got other ones, but they're like rap ones that'll be like, yeah, nigga.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be that appropriate for right now.
For them pasty white boy from Canada.
Yeah. Unless I have some Marshall Mathers ones, but I didn't see too many on there.
Yeah. No, like it was a good.
Dog life.
And they even had they commented on Stu and Helen being there for Bret's big moment and how jumps in the crowd and goes and sees them and all that, and Bret even strips Mr. Perfect out of his singlet there at the end. Literally kicks him out of the ring holding on to his singlet.
Fuck yeah. Before we move on, you reminded me. Quick run through on AEW. I don't know if you watched all of it.
I watched most of it. Still trying to learn a lot of these guys. I'm not familiar with a lot of the guys that are in the AEW, so it's nice for me because I'm able to watch it and enjoy it because I don't have any preconceived notion to these guys.
October 2nd, TNT.
Yeah. And what was it announced today? Is it October and November is Omega and Moxley?
I think so, and I don't know if it's here. Or I don't know
where.
Yeah, but they're doing a show here close to Thanksgiving.
Okay.
For I think it's just gonna be like it might be a Wednesday taping. Whatever they're calling it, I don't know. I forget what they're calling it. Their weekly showings. SoCal Uncensored, which is Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky taking on Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt. Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt are little scrawny guys that can wrestle and do a lot of crazy shit. Luchasaurus is the muscle. But
Jungle Boy is
Luke Perry's?
Luke Perry's son, that's it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. So SoCal Uncensored wins. They're the more famous of the two tag teams, and just makes sense that they won. Pac, the Bastard Pac, or Pac, Thug Life, Tupac. Pac taking on Kenny Omega. It was supposed to be John Moxley. John Moxley has staph infection. The Bastard Pac is Neville, for people that don't know.
That's right, yeah.
And Neville actually beats Kenny Omega in a fantastic match. Kenny Omega's a fantastic wrestler. You guys will get to see him on TNT for people that have never seen him. I've seen him against Okada.
Probably the
Jericho.
best wrestler today from Canada. Got to be up there with Jericho.
Oh yeah, well, not just Canada, just up there in general.
No, but he's this generation's Bret Hart, I would say. like where he's kind of like carrying the torch for the nation, if you would.
We are the nation of domination.
That's a couple matches away.
Yes, yeah. So the referee stops this match because Omega passes out to Pac's finisher. Next match, Jimmy Havoc taking on Darby Allin and Joey Janela in a Cracker Barrel clash. I don't know exactly what that is, but it's a hardcore match for all intents and purposes with a bunch of Cracker Barrel stuff. I guess it's sponsored by them.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure.
Makes like does Cracker Barrel have like a history? Is there like a reason why it's named that, or just a bunch of white people?
Billionaire Ted now, like, if he's investing with them in TNT,
Yeah,
could have asked for something like that. I'm not sure. I'm speculating, to be honest. Actually, 1 second. This isn't probably gonna help. No, it just goes to like gimmick matches.
Yeah.
When I ask for a description of the match, it's like, oh, it's a gimmick match. It's like, well, yeah, I know what what does it entail? But pretty much, it's a hardcore match for those people that want to know. There were some good spots. Someone smashing through a Cracker Barrel or a barrel. Thumbtacks in the mouth, tape. If you want hardcore, they were just doing anything and everything to get that hardcore itch.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these matches I think they're going to steer away from a lot of this stuff in the future, but they're trying to grab an audience and get people into a character and then slowly move away and move into what they want to do. I think that they're trying to go big at the beginning and then ease their way into the calm waters.
The next match was Jimmy Havoc won that match. The Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson, I have no idea who they are, taking on the Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. I don't know who any of these tag teams are. I think this is where Orange Cassidy came out, right?
Yeah.
Quick thoughts on Orange Cassidy. A lot of the guys hate him because, look, we all get the gimmick. We all know it's over. I don't get why it's so over. It's so ridiculous. It's over. Like, he just I think he did a little bit more here, but like in other instances, he doesn't do anything. He has his hands in his pockets and he does like a wrestling match. And like,
he's so good, he doesn't have to use his hands. It's like that one guy in the independent scene there when his finisher, someone has to grab his cock. And you like,
don't you fucking badmouth Joey Ryan, you son of a bitch. He's one of the best. He's got a cock of steel.
Gotta get him in WWE.
I think they were actually trying to.
Really?
Yeah, he's got the lollipop. He's this generation's Rick Rude.
Do you think they would let him use that finisher live on Monday Night Raw?
No. No.
You saved that for WrestleMania.
Yeah, come on,
when
bro.
The world's watching.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so the Dark Order beats Best Friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. Riho defeats Hikaru Shida. I don't know who these girls were, but they put on one hell of a match. Probably the fastest paced match I have ever seen. They did not stop. Riho wins. I don't know what else to say. She's going to take on Nyla Rose. I think Nyla Rose is a transgender male to female.
Okay.
Let me 100%. Yeah, she became the first openly transgender woman to sign with a major American professional wrestling promotion. I don't like getting political, but this is professional wrestling. If the organization wishes to put Nyla Rose as their first women's champion, it is their decision. It is their wish. I have no other opinion besides that.
The way that I see it
actually, I wouldn't do it because, just to honor women, but they're going to do what they're going to do.
I'm cool with this because even though it's
professional wrestling.
Because it's a sport, it's a work. It's not like Fallon Fox, where it's like science has proven that she's going to steamroll people. We've
seen intergender matches. They just haven't done it because it's PG now.
We've
seen Becky Lynch take take moves from Baron Corbin. They're moving more towards that era. This is just another step in that direction. It's a matter of the company
one
wants
of
to do it or not.
the 98, 99. We don't have the match to talk about, but China takes on Jeff Jarrett
Mm-hmm.
in a good housekeeping match, which is basically a no holds barred. And Jarrett uses a guitar on China
Mm-hmm.
and smashes are good. It's a hardcore match and it's Jeff Jarrett beating up a woman, but that's what they were able to do at the time. She was fine to do it. They wanted to, that's fine. It's hard now to promote things like that, I think, because I don't know if people don't want to see a woman getting smashed in the head with the guitar from a man.
Yeah.
But the late 90s was a different time. Here, I think, because like I said, because it is a work, it's not a true athletic competition where there is an advantage one way or a disadvantage another way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. Let's see. Are there women deserving of that title? Yes. Does the company want to put the title on Nyla Rose? Which, in my opinion, if she wants to be considered a woman, go ahead. But other than professional wrestling and other aspects of that, let's not try to blur lines and don't try to go MMA and fight girls.
Well,
that's all. That's all I don't want.
That high school down in Texas where the guy is becoming a girl, so he's allowed to wrestle girls, and she's 3 years undefeated national champion.
Mm-hmm.
It's well, of course.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I don't know where they're gonna go with this, the whole transgender, if they're gonna use this as an angle, maybe put the strap on her.
You know what would be crazy?
And then someone comes out and says, "Listen, they could use that." I don't know where they're gonna go. They could.
Here's what, in my opinion, if they just have Nyla Rose and the winner of, or I think Riho and Nyla Rose, if they have Riho put on an incredible match, a come from behind match, it doesn't matter if Nyla Rose loses, and it'll fucking elevate Riho to an even bigger level, knowing that she beat the first ever openly transgender female wrestler.
And they could sell it as a disadvantage because of body. Who know? I don't know. It's wrestling. They can do what they want. They can do their own angles.
I'm just watching my language because you're going to report me to the ethics committee. That's all.
I don't know. It's a lot of people are going to see it as murky waters. And I get why. I can understand why people would see it a certain way.
This is a lot less murkier for me because it's a work.
I agree with that. And I feel I wonder, that's why I wonder if they're going to go a storyline aspect and use it as, well, the disadvantage because of this or that. I wonder where they're going to take it. Because you could get a pretty interesting story, and it would be the first of its kind.
Yes. And that's what they want right now, especially on TV. Especially
putting a face on transgender of look what you can do. Don't be afraid. Yeah, they'll have a huge. Why do you think Dana White wanted women's MMA so bad? Because no one else really had it. He wanted to get all of the eyes on it and really showcase
women's
it.
MMA has never been UFC. Oh wait, it's money. Come right in.
Once you saw the money and they were able to show it, it's growing in popularity. So this could easily, because right now the face for transgender women, and nothing against anybody, Caitlyn Jenner is really the big one that people talk about, and it's not exactly the greatest role model for a lot of people with the Kardashians.
Well, not to mention that she killed somebody.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
fucking rammed them from behind while texting, and then the person got hit. Yeah, allegedly. I don't know if this is all true.
But yeah, so if you have someone like this that you can have a positive impact on people, it's good for society to have this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, if you're a transgender female, you better chop it off. Out of here,
Uncle Joey style.
Yeah, off. You can't claim both, and you can't claim one and have the other.
Right.
You can't be claiming a girl and then have a fucking huge ass cock. It's not gonna work.
Hangover 2. Fuck, that's.
I've seen that movie, but I don't remember too much about it.
When they're in Thailand and it was Ed Helms, Stu finds out that he cheated on his wife with a stripper, and she talks about, I climax into you, and then you climax onto the floor. And he's like, what? You mean went in you? And turns around, and she's got a big cock hanging out, and he's like, he starts like throwing up in the corner.
Oh. Next match, Ryan. Next match. Starship Cody Rhodes with his crew with Diamond Dallas Page. Their frightened dog. Once the pyro goes off, the dog gets frightened, and I think that they take him in the back. I forget who else is there with them. Did you see who's with them?
No.
MJF. I don't know what that. Let me see. I can get. MJF is. Oh, okay. It's Matthew T. Friedman, some wrestler, or Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
I haven't seen too much of this match.
Mm-hmm.
I know DDP was on the Stone Cold show today talking about it, but I haven't had a chance to go back and listen or see this match in its entirety yet.
Yeah, they were teasing the chair. Shawn Spears came out the chair that he had Cody with in the chair spot. It was an all right match. Shawn Spears had Tully. Tully had interfered. The best spot on this was because Tully was interfering with the match. Arn came out. Yeah, Arn Anderson came out and spine bustered Shawn Spears, the perfect 10. I got something in my hands. Fuck y'all. All right. What is it?
Yeah.
6? There you go. Ryan did it.
It's like I'm thinking Seinfeld, like the Van Buren boys.
Oh yeah, right. The salt shaker.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like to me, like when I saw the highlights for this one at first, and I saw Arn Anderson was in there, I was like, I don't know. I was like, oh yes, like I love seeing Arn Anderson up there.
Yep. AA. And then fucking. Against one of his old brothers, man. Tully Blanchard. But, yeah. Next match were the Lucha Brothers, Cero Miedo, Pentagon Jr., and Ray Fenix, his brother, taking on the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, in the Escalera de la Muerte for the AAA World Tag Team Championships. Fantastic match. These guys are high spot. All I gotta say is go watch it. I think what is it? The Canadian Destroyer off of the top of the ladder through the table. Did you watch this match? Am I ruining it for you?
No, I didn't see the whole. This is what one of the matches I saw bits and pieces.
I think it's called the Canadian Destroyer. It was some kind of weird flip onto one of the Young Bucks that destroyed them towards the end, which led to the Lucha Brothers. They both went up and got their AAA World Tag Team Championships. It's smart to keep. They're not going to take it off of them.
No,
it's AAA. They're borrowing. They're working together, but you know they're not going to give up the titles.
It's like Bellator and Ryzen, right? It's like they're just cross-promoting each other.
Yeah.
You help me, I help you.
Lucha Brothers is so popular, but they have a contract like, hey, we want to work everywhere. All right, but you can't lose the titles. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Lucha Brothers win, don't lose the titles. Next match was for the AEW World Championship match, or for the championship title, which is missing right now. So, if you see it, let us know.
No chance in hell. Vince is walking out with that sucker, and he's opening up his coat.
Everyone's been saying, what if it's at work? What if Chris Jericho's still working for WWE?
I think this is just like, well, I mean, it's the big angle to get them onto TV.
I saw Pop had it. I think they might have actually stole it. I don't know if that was true.
The article said that they found it, but then they removed or they deleted the tweet and put out that the case is still ongoing, and they think that it could be a replica that they found. So there's a chance that someone's already replicated the belt, and
the guy got the receipt. He's like, "Fuck y'all! Look at this shit."
The cop. Hey, look what I found. The guy opens up his drawers. Like, what's that? Nothing.
Well, Damn, what's the fucking website?
eBay.
Leatherford.
Leather
by Dan. Hit us up. Leather by Dave. Leather by Dan.
Leather by someone with letter D.
Just send me a belt. I'll put it right here. I got one of the cheap ones, the WWE manufacturer over there. But if Leather by Dan were to send me one, on camera I'd go and I'd knock all this shit over and just put it right there.
Right. Yeah, I put it right in the back there so everyone can see it on camera.
Over here? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Boom. Check that out right there. Lights. So in the final match, we had the championship on the line. Vacant belt. Chris Jericho taking on Adam Hangman Page, coming out on a horse. For those of you guys that don't know, Adam Page was a short member of the Bullet Club. Left and is now, I think, on his own. But yeah, so he won a 20-man battle royal at Double or Nothing or something like that, whatever it was called. So he gets, and then Jericho beat Omega. That's why this match is made. It's a good match, man. For Chris Jericho being that old, our first real exposure to Adam Page in a match, especially with such a high caliber of opponent in Chris Jericho. I wonder how the fans are going to take Adam Page, because either Adam Page gets I believe Adam Page gets a rematch, wins, and then we're going to get Pac versus Adam Page for the belt, because I don't think we're going to get a heel versus heel. There's no way they're going to give us Chris Jericho versus Pac, super heel versus super heel. No way. I think it would be cool, full heel podcast. But I don't think they'll give us that. Hell nah, brother.
Unless we're gonna do a swerve and have someone turns or backstabs a guy, Jericho's Page and what's his Pac end up forming an alliance to get up Jericho and just for Pac to turn or something like that,
Pac is in some kind of alliance. I don't know who he's partnered up with, but
I want to say, I think you told me that AEW is trying to work at a Canadian market, so I need to find that out and see what if it's going to be happening, and if it is, what station it is. That's something I want to check out and try to get to know those guys and follow them a little bit better.
Yeah, Billionaire Ted, brother, and that's a channel I can record too if I miss it. So if I'm busy Wednesdays recording, if we're busy recording on Wednesdays, because it's going to be live on Wednesdays, Ryan, or we could just move the show to Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then we could watch it live on Wednesdays. Because SmackDown's moving too.
To when?
Friday. FX.
Oh, they're moving back to Friday.
And FX.
Man, so they went from Thursday to Friday to Thursday to Friday to Tuesday to Friday. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then from pre-tape to what? Live now? Have they ever been live before?
Yeah. I know in its original run, for sure, the September 11th Memorial Show was live. I know that one for sure was done live. Aside from that, I think it may have always been a Tuesday taping.
Yeah, right? It was always taped Tuesday and aired Thursday.
Yeah, maybe the Friday. No, I don't even know if they would have done a Friday show, because usually the Friday, you're usually at your city doing the Friday, Saturday, Sunday house show run, getting ready for Raw. So yeah, it might have always been a taped event.
Let's get back on track. But Chris Jericho is your first AEW champion in like I said, pretty good match. He's Fat Jericho right now, bald Fat Jericho. But go ahead and check it out.
Bald, fat, drunk, titleless.
Look, yeah, he apparently lost. Someone stole the title from him while he was drinking some bubbly.
I mean, let's see. He's a little overweight. He's drinking on weekends. He doesn't have a championship. What's the difference between me and Jericho right now, really?
Both Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't even tell the difference.
Nope. Yeah, so go ahead and check that event out if you guys haven't. We're soon gonna get, I guess in a month, we're gonna get more wrestling on. Well, Wednesdays we're gonna get NXT soon,
Monday,
like next week.
The Wednesday Night Wars.
I think next week they move there.
CM Punk, you hear what CM Punk said?
That he would not talk to WWE.
Well, he's saying don't hate one and like the other. He's trying to tell people look, just enjoy it, because they're doing their thing, they're doing the thing. This is nothing but good for the business. Just enjoy it all. Don't hate on one. Just embrace what we have, because it's been a long time since we've had a couple different companies that are able to put out, A caliber matches on a regular basis if you pay attention to it enough. So
yeah, I get I get the war, but I guess I'm old enough to understand. Hey, I like wrestling, and I'm going to enjoy. Well, I did it. I did this when I was a kid. I would watch both. I'd go to my sister's house, and I'd flip in between channels because she had cable, and when I didn't have cable, my cousin would read shit off the internet, or he'd get episodes somehow, old episodes.
We
But pay-per-views were far and like I would have to wait for him to rent them, so he'd invite me
well,
downstairs.
and because like satellite companies wanted to monopolize on all the wrestling, so they were like, yes, so you do it this Sunday, you do it this Sunday. Like they always tried to make sure that they weren't going head to head on pay per view, so you were able to watch them if you were like if you had access to watch them on a regular basis, you could.
Imagine 3 a month.
Oof.
ECW, WCW,
Yeah.
WWF. Back to our listings. So match number 3, I picked this one. SummerSlam 1995, Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. Number 2, I have this action figure. I have I have Shawn Michaels with the blue pants and the
The blue
ladder. He's over
Nice.
there, not opened. He's sealed. He's a like in a
that
weird,
like
not
one-
a weird box, but like a different color box than regular releases. Because
Okay.
he's a network spotlight. That's what they're called.
Oh, okay.
I would say this match isn't as good as their first one, but they did change it up a bit. They just used a
Mhm.
lot of the.
Were
that-
they both face in this match? Because Shawn was getting a pretty good pop throughout the match. It wasn't just all Razor like in WrestleMania.
Shawn just wasn't. Shawn was Intercontinental Champion and he was face
Yeah,
this
so
time. And the other time, Shawn was being heel.
he was heel
Because-
he had Diesel at that time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they kicked Diesel out during their match, but the last time he had been stripped because he didn't want to. He didn't want to job it to, or he didn't want to lose it to
Right.
someone. He didn't want to put someone over, so
right.
they stripped him of it, and then Razor won it, and then he came back, and then we had the.
No, it wasn't a job. It was he pissed hot,
Oh, okay.
and he didn't want to accept the suspension and fine, so he literally took his title and went home, and they had to create a second title. So that's why there was the 2 titles at WrestleMania.
And that's why it was just somewhere much iconic. WrestleMania 10.
Yeah,
2
the
titles.
2 straps. Yeah,
Razor has both of them at the top of the ladder.
he has the real one and the fake one. Yeah, and this one's hard because it's like anything. Like, it's hard to recreate magic or lightning in a bottle.
And they tried to.
And they did a good thing. They didn't do the exact same spots. Like Michael's missing the splash this time instead of hitting it. Razor working Shawn's leg, whereas last time it was Shawn trying to chop Razor down to size. Razor's taking the smaller guy by making sure he can't use his legs to climb the ladder or to hit sweet chin music. Like and they did different spots with the ladder too, like wedging into the corner as opposed to just like using it as the full weapon to like splash the guy. It was throw the guy into the ladder or crash the ladder onto the leg. Like they switched up a little bit.
I don't.
But yeah, it was missing something.
I don't know if it's because it's early on, and they just knew how to tell a story better. Because they didn't have a lot of ladder matches to like
Right.
kind of reference back in this time.
And you didn't have guys who were like Razor wasn't about to like toss Shawn out and the ladder falls over and then run up the ladder and jump over the top. Like he's not gonna do so. Like they're limited in what they could do athletically as well.
So the first quarter of the match, they're just wrestling. I think there might be an attempt by Razor to go for it, but right away Shawn stops him and they're back to wrestling. A quarter of the way into the match, they finally get a ladder and they put it into the ring, and they kind of recall some of the spots from the WrestleMania 10 spot. What, 3-4 years before this?
No, 1 year.
1 year, damn.
Yeah,
I'm
it
off.
was.
Yeah,
it was
you're right. You're right.
March '94, and then
It had been 18 months, so like a year and a half or something like that.
a year and a bit. Yeah.
Then now that I remember, they did mention that in the commentary. So they did the Shawn spot where he moons the crowd because Razor pulls the underwear or the trunks while he's moving up.
Yeah.
But this time, instead of Shawn going or kicking him down and going for the elbow, he pulls up the trunks, thinks about it, and then climbs up, with giving Razor the opportunity to go a different route than they did that match.
Right. Yeah.
But they were recalling a bunch of those old spots. And if you notice, Shawn uses the ladder for offense, but doesn't use it against Razor in an offensive way as a weapon. He only uses it to like springboard off, to
Or
maybe
like
even whip Razor into
when
it.
Razor was trying to pick him up and he like kicked, or he was going to I think Shawn was on the ground and Razor was going to stomp the leg, or he was going to like turn, and as he turned his back while holding Shawn's leg, Shawn kicked him in the ass and like
Hmm.
just kind of like knocked the wind out of him briefly.
Yeah,
It was
so
no malicious
yeah, he
move.
uses it indirectly, I guess is what I'm
Mhm.
trying to say, and Razor uses it more maliciously. So he is playing more the heel in the match, in the telling of the story.
Like he knows what it's going to take because he's been there before. Like
Hmm.
he doesn't want to go through the hell that was that first ladder match. So he wants to beat Shawn down early and often and try and get a quick in and out win.
Yeah, and the first prevention of him trying to stop Razor from getting the ladder, they go back towards the ring, and Razor lands a nasty fucking superplex from the inside to the outside,
Yeah.
and drops
Ooh.
Shawn right on his tailbone. I was like, holy shit, man, that would have been nasty.
And you realize that's yeah. So this was 90 like summer 95, and then you realize that year and a half later he's gonna have two more of those back injuries, and then he's gonna be gone.
Mm.
Like his time is like 2 years or so away from winding down from all those back injuries, and you watch this and you know what's coming his way. You're like, oh god, like maybe shouldn't have done that one, Shawn.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm surprised he
Um,
bounced up so easily from it.
we had nice spots. Razor going for the belt, axe handle by Shawn from the top rope because Razor was turned around. We have another attempt by Razor going up, but Shawn climbs up, catches him, does a back body drop. Shawn then goes up for a splash, misses it. This is after he lands a sloppy moonsault. I don't know if you remember the sloppy moonsault. There was kind of a.
Yeah, he climbs the ladder, does like
Mhm.
the yeah, and it was cool. 'Cause he lands the moonsault, bounces up, and starts hammering Razor Ramon like really smoothly. And then yeah, I went for the splash that he did at WrestleMania 10, but this time
Misses
Razor
it. Well, yeah.
saw it coming.
Mhm.
Razor saw it coming, and moved out of the way.
Mhm. And then yeah, so they both exchange on the top of the ropes. They have a spot where they reset because they both fall off. I think he hits Razor and Razor wobbles it. So Razor falls off and then Shawn falls into the ropes. I think they both fall into the ropes and nut
Yeah, they
shot.
both. Yeah.
The nut shot.
Oh, and don't forget, maybe the greatest piece of commentary from Vince McMahon. Uh, the ladder that Razor Ramon was climbing was found underneath the ring, so it might have been an illegal ladder, and we
No, no, no,
don't
no,
know.
no, no, you're wrong. He was calling
No,
Razor illegal
no,
because he's Hispanic.
because he's the best is it goes if he climbs the illegal ladder, and if he gets the title, does it count?
If the illegal climbs the ladder, does it count?
Yeah.
No, yeah, no, you're 100% right. Yeah, because
There
Razor
was
gets a
so
second ladder, and it's like, is that ladder even legal? And I was like, come on.
and now yeah, it's like and now
But
it's
so here's the thing we forgot to mention too. At the WrestleMania 10 match, they had a badass match, and they only had one ladder. I'm guessing maybe they had more under, but
I
the
think they
spot
had a
didn't call for
backup,
it.
but yeah, no, they didn't never use a second, but they could have used one.
Yeah, they needed one because it was wobbling at a certain
It was
point.
messed up, yeah.
Yeah, they used it to the point where it was fucked up. So I guess this is why they introduced. Well, it's a new aspect. Let's introduce. Is it illegal? This one was definitely thought of.
And nowadays, guys go underneath the ring and it's like a 30-foot ladder. And Jeff Hardy's gonna climb that sucker and break his neck.
Yeah, hey, what size ladder do you want? We got 3 different sizes.
Yeah.
We got Hornswoggle size, regular size, and Jeff Hardy size.
Jeff Hardy size.
Yeah, Hardy Boy size. Let's see. Razor gets the second ladder, hits HBK. So HBK's climbing up for one point. He gets Razor's edged, but the second ladder's illegal. No.
Yeah.
They both climb on separate ladders, and Shawn kicks Razor. Razor falls off.
And okay, so this is what I teased you this earlier. So it was on Something to Wrestle. I don't know if it was Shawn Michaels 95, Razor Ramon, or if they've done a SummerSlam 95 show. But Bruce Prichard in one of those shows talks about this match, and so Shawn hits Sweet Chin Music, and if you watch it, Razor's right underneath the title, so he has to just pull it. Shawn's off to the side, so he has to really stretch and he has to reach. So the goal was to have Shawn super kick Razor off. Razor's going to take the second ladder down with him, and Shawn's going to jump off the ladder, catch the belt. The belt's going to come off, and he's going to crash to the ground and be the champion. If Shawn jumps off the ladder, grabs the belt, and the belt doesn't unhinge, and Shawn falls. And here's where you get the beginning of the hissy fit. He gets now. I might be drawing a blank. I don't know if Razor comes back in.
No, he doesn't. He stays outside the whole time.
Okay,
He's just like, my back. Let me.
So Shawn moved,
he was me. He turned into me. He's like, oh, my back is spasming. I can't get up. Give me 5 minutes.
So it's genetics.
Yeah, it's in the fucking Hispanic genes. We need to stretch more. We don't. Fuck, Hispanics don't do yoga. We ain't white.
So Shawn moves the ladder, climbs up, and now instead of jumping, he's reaching. He's got the title fully in his grasp, and he falls, and the belt doesn't come down a second time. And there's where he throws the hissy fit. If you watch it, he kicks the ladder, he starts shaking the other ladder, he's mad, he stomps up, he rips the title off, and as he rips it off, he falls and finishes the spot he was supposed to do
Shawn hissy
3
fits
minutes
a lot.
earlier.
His ways.
Yeah, and
he
it's
hissy
just
fitted with Vader. I was listening to episode.
Yeah, I want to go back and watch that match and see that.
Yeah, because he tells Vader to move, so he misses the elbow.
Right.
And Vader doesn't move, and Shawn lands on his feet, and he's like, "Move, asshole!" And like,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so Shawn throws the hissy fit. Like I said, he climbs the ladder, stomps up, grabs the title, and just falls as he was supposed to do originally. But yeah, Shawn wasn't happy with and I think that really did hurt the match. I will say, I don't know. I don't know if it's ever been said, but I think that WrestleMania 10 was botched, because if you go back and watch the very first ladder match of Shawn versus Bret for the Intercontinental title, both the guys are climbing the ladder. Bret knocks Shawn, and Shawn. Oh, no, sorry. Shawn's climbing the ladder. Bret Hart drop kicks it or runs into it, and Shawn hits the ropes and flips over to the outside. Bret climbs and wins. If you watch WrestleMania 10, I swear the way that Shawn falls into the ropes, he's supposed to go over, but he didn't have the right angle, and he locked his leg in. And then the most obvious, get his leg out, get his arm tangled. I think that both Shawn and Razor's ladder matches had botched finishes, but I don't know if WrestleMania 10's ever been actually said to have been that way. But
I've never heard I haven't listened to all of the.
Yeah, I've listened to WrestleMania 10. I don't recall if they talked about it being botched, but I feel like from watching it and seeing other Shawn Michael ladder match finishes with Bret, that it looked like they were trying to do something that didn't work. But yeah, I still I enjoyed this match. It wasn't as good as WrestleMania, like we said, but it was the second one, right? Like there's not too many sequels that are better than the first time, especially when. Like we said with Savage and Steamboat, it's WrestleMania. It's a showcase. It's an event. It's not just a pro wrestling match. There's so much more to it. The atmosphere is different. You've seen what these guys. You've seen what these guys did with the ladder 18 months earlier. So now it's like, oh, okay, they're gonna, like, you're anticipating, and they can't do those things the second time because you're like, oh wait, I already saw this. So they try to.
It's an awesome match if you haven't seen the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Especially with Shawn missing the splash. I feel like that was a nice little added touch to not have him be as successful on his offensive moves with the ladder.
Yeah, it wasn't as different as it should have been.
Right, and I think it was good. I like I don't know. I like Shawn Michaels in these in ladder matches because he's a good storyteller in them. Tag team ladder matches that he's done, the single ones. He's always put on like entertaining ladder matches, so it's hard to give it a bad grade. I would watch it again. I just think of WrestleMania 10. I guess if you watch WrestleMania 10 second, you would probably say that the sequel was better because WrestleMania 10 would be the sequel. Mm-hmm. So I think that is the standalone between. But for these two guys, I think that one's the better of the two.
Agreed. Let's see. Match after this was your match, right? No,
Uh,
yeah, well, yeah.
yeah.
Next two are your matches. 1997, right?
D, Generation X in your house. The man with the title, The Rock, and the champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I believe this is the first time these guys fight. Because Steve was going with Owen for a long time leading into this before his neck injury, and then he came back and he won the title of the Survivor Series leading into this match. And I don't know, maybe they did like a Raw or a house show or something. They might have had something. I think this was like their first big feud, and I think this was their first match televised. So the beginning of the greatest rivalry in sports entertainment.
What? Quick one.
Maybe
quick
second,
one, first encounter.
maybe second to Goldberg and Hogan.
I hate Goldberg so much. This was a quick one. So Steve comes out in his what F-150? His F-150?
Yeah, so gimmicky with that. Like, yeah, with the second he comes out in that. Well, like The Rock cuts a great promo to start it off. Comes out with the whole nation. Rips on the crowd about how he's gonna beat Stone Cold and retain his title. And yeah, Austin's music hits, and out he comes in his pickup, and just gets down to business, going after The Rock. Important to note that the nation's on the outside. The Rock is in the ring by himself. Austin climbs up into the bed, onto the hood, and then into the ring, and just goes after The Rock. There's no bell. Austin doesn't do any proper entrance kind of into the ring, so they don't get to truly start the match. Nation comes in and starts beating down Austin, which is perfectly legal because the match hasn't started yet. And then chaos ensues with the pickup truck.
Yeah. Austin flips D'Lo onto the hood, breaks the glass, onto the front glass, and then onto the hood, stuns D'Lo on top of it.
Now, my question: I'm a big Stone Cold guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why D'Lo was so much more affected from the truck than being in the ring, because it's not like he was hit by the truck. It's still Austin's shoulder that's knocking him out. I don't know, but he was out
later to him, and he was out. He's like, I'm still hurt.
He was out for 8 minutes from that stunner.
Yeah, he was like, I'm still hurt. So Kama tries to hit Austin, but because Farouk and him are fighting, so Kama tries to hit Austin with a chair. Austin moves.
He goes back in the ring and he fights briefly for a bit before they attack him again, and they get him back outside. And
this all happens so fast, and like it's all crazy.
Yeah, so Austin gets jumped from behind again from the Nation. I
didn't even think about it till the end. The match was over. I'm like, wait a minute, because they were mentioning it. I didn't even think about it just because I was so entertained in this quick ass match. It's like, wait, he just beat up the whole Nation.
Yeah, and he didn't take his vest off until he had won the match.
Mm-hmm.
So they drag him outside again, and Farouk holds him. Kama gets the chair, and Austin was out of the way. Farouk gets leveled, goes down. Austin throws Kama into the truck, and Kama's down. Austin gets back in, and now The Rock kind of gets his momentum going, and now The Rock kind of takes over in the match and starts doing his thing.
Yeah, he hits Austin with the people's elbow, misses the second one when the elbow pads are off. He gets some offense in, but it's a short match. It's 5 minutes, and a lot of it is Austin on the outside fighting the Nation. Even when the match starts, like we said, the Rock gets a little bit of offense, misses the second elbow. Austin accidentally stuns the ref because the Nation's interfering, so he's turned around and he thinks the ref is the Rock, and he accidentally stuns the ref.
And he pins the ref for like a good 15-20 seconds too before he realizes it's not The Rock.
Mm-hmm. And then The Rock tries to mount some kind of offense, but he gets stunned too. And then Austin pins him, and then the second ref comes in right after he pins
Well,
him.
first there's as he's pinning the referee, The Rock breaks out the brass knuckles.
Oh, yeah. The Rock is trying to...
and as he was to punch him, it was a weird setup because normally Austin doesn't. He would like turn the guy around and then kick him. Here he just blocks the fist and kicks him in the gut, and yeah, it hits the stunner and gets the pinfall. And it's weird because if you watch the referee that Austin stuns, he's calling for the bell. He's disqualifying Austin. But the other referee slides into the ring, counts the 3 count, and Austin retains his title. So it's kind of funny, like you got the one referee's like disqualify Austin, the other referee's counting the 3 fall. So it's I don't know going forward what happens. I know that Austin wins the Rumble and forfeits the title to The Rock and tosses it into the I think they're on the Jumbotron and the Titantron, and The Rock's pager goes off and turns around. It's like something 316. He turns around and gets stunned, and that's how The Rock becomes the Intercontinental Champion. And then they don't go back until the next WrestleMania, the following year's WrestleMania. But this was a great start, and it was awesome to see these guys knowing what they're going to do with the heavyweight championship. See them started off with the Intercontinental title, because the Intercontinental title has always been the stepping stone. Like if you're able to carry this title, then odds are you're going to become the big dog shortly thereafter, for the most part.
Yeah. So Austin hits the stunner, gets 1, 2, 3, quick match. But it was an awesome match just to see Austin fight the whole Nation of Domination. To see where they were at the time, The Rock coming up with the Nation.
And to be fair, though, Mark Henry wasn't there. So who knows if Mark Henry was there, that may have been played out differently.
He'll be there later. He'll be there next. Next match is Triple H versus The Rock, SummerSlam 1998.
And this is right in the middle of their
rise.
Epic 1998 summer feud where they had the Rock's Triple H had been the champion before as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, but he hadn't been the champion in a while, and now he'd been the European champion. Finally gets to lead DX, and The Rock is the Intercontinental champion. And from basically WrestleMania 14 until SummerSlam, they are just going back and forth almost every pay-per-view for this title, and they are putting on 5-star matches, entertaining matches. The previous month they did a 2 out of 3 falls where they both had 1 fall, and Triple H hits the pedigree, and I don't know the exact timing, but the referee's counting 1, 2, 3, but the bell rings because it hit the 30-minute time limit. So it ends up as a draw, which leads into this ladder match to determine this is it. Like Triple H, you've had so many chances. This is it. You either now you have to win it, or that's it. No more.
Mm-hmm. So. They took similar spots, but I think they kind of made them their own in this match from the original WrestleMania 10 match, I would say.
I was gonna say I saw a lot of Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon in this match, and I wonder if that had a lot to do with those guys helping Hunter.
Yeah. So 3 minutes in, not even a quarter of the way in, because all these matches that we're talking about, especially the ladder matches, were like 25 minutes on average.
They were pretty good in length, yeah. Mm-hmm.
These guys, 3 minutes in, were teasing the ladder. 5 minutes in, they already had the ladder in the ring.
Yeah.
These guys were quick about it, whereas Shawn and Razor...
They had a lot of ladder spots that they wanted to get on. This is the Attitude Era, right? This is violence.
And baby faces will use the ladder as a weapon and not just as something that's there that I can use it against you because you brought it out.
Yeah, because
now I'll hit you with it.
Even though there were technically baby faces in in this era, everyone was a bad guy. Everyone was a heel in a weird way.
Sorry, I thought you were a Billie Eilish fan. Let's see. Yeah, so it's quick back and forth. Brock teases a rock bottom. Triple H teases the pedigree, gets tossed to the outside before they get the ladder. That's why they get the ladder, because Triple H goes outside. Rock follows, beats him up, tries to get to the ladder. Triple H stops him, brings him in. Like I said, this is really early on.
Hunter took some spots in this match too.
Yeah. Pretty good bumps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Like I said, they didn't steal a lot, but like they made it their own. They did do the mooning towards the end, but it was a quick butt crack shot of The Rock. The Rock starts to heavily focus in on one of Triple H's legs. I think it's the left leg, so Triple H can't climb the ladder.
Yeah.
And that becomes the kind of Rock's focus. He starts using the ladder as a weapon, as like putting Triple H's leg in between the ladder, using a chair to whack at it, dropping legs on it. He drops Triple H on it. He gets a lot of really good I would say the better of the offense, especially with the weapon on Triple H.
And I forget the exact time. I don't know if it comes before or after, but yeah, Triple H takes a back body drop, like teasing the pedigree onto the ladder on the outside of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, taking the bump on the ladder is one thing, but when you're on like the outside where there's like even less give to that thing, like you're absorbing all of that onto your back, like oof.
And this is after getting monkey flipped onto one on the barricade, slamming Triple H on it, and then does a reversal from the pedigree.
That one, and it's a classic Triple H. So like you've seen him do this in. I feel like this is his like homage to Ric Flair, when Flair would do his walk out of the corner and just flop onto his belly. Triple H takes the slingshot into the ladder, and then he kind of takes a couple of steps and falls face forward onto the table, and knocks himself back too.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if you remember the baseball slide that Triple H does with the ladder to the Rock that cuts the Rock open. That was a pretty unique spot that I hadn't seen, that I don't remember seeing anytime recent, really. And it's not where the ladder's laid out just regularly. No, this is a ladder opened in a V, and he kicks it out towards the Rock. He baseball slides the V, and the V goes and hits.
I feel like they did this, like, because I feel like I've seen a lot of guys do it, and it might have been just something they used to do back in that era, like in the Attitude Era. Maybe it was one of those things where it's like a little more risky.
I haven't seen it recently. Definitely haven't seen it recently.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that I feel like I've seen a lot. Maybe I'm just imagining, but I feel like I've seen the Hardys do it, and Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, guys like the guys that like kind of like revolutionized the ladder match going forward. I feel like I saw them do it, but yeah, it's definitely a unique thing that I haven't seen in a long time now.
Yeah, they got a second ladder, but one of them is really beat up. One of them winds up in the corner, like across the corner of the ropes. They're both climbing up for the belt, and it looks like The Rock's gonna get it because he knocks Triple H off, but Triple H hits that ladder, bounces back into the ladder that was standing, and resets the match for both of them. It's kind of like a little reset.
Yeah,
it's a long match. It's like I said, 25 minutes long.
They even had a little bit of like the outside interference.
Yeah.
And kind of like, so like there was like a little bit of that going on too.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, so the little bit of interference was because so the interference comes when Mark Henry throws the dust or the powder in Triple H's eyes, and Triple H blindly goes for the belt, but The Rock follows him up there, and he starts hitting Triple H, but then Chyna comes and low blows The Rock.
Yeah.
And then The Rock falls, and then Triple H blindly goes up he's trying to get the title, and the crowd is going crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, sorry, as the kids like to say nowadays.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know.
The ending killed it for me. I don't like the outside interference. I feel like that kind of ruined the match a little bit.
Attitude Era, baby.
Yeah, I know, and that's like, I like those. I like those clean finishes in ladder matches. I feel like the outside interference is a little too much, but
especially for a SummerSlam. Yeah, I get it.
And it's already a gimmick match. You don't need to have outside interference. You already have the outside it's like TLC 2 at WrestleMania 17 when you had Rhino and you had Lita and you had Spike Dudley all come out, and you're like, oh god, you already have these three guys. Like, they're making it work so well. Now you're taking away from this amazing match. Like, let the ladder match stand as it is. Like, you don't. Sometimes doing too much destroys the match.
Mm-hmm. I get you.
Like,
Um,
but a solid match, fun match. Uh, this might be my favorite SummerSlam. It's the one I remember the most from my childhood. I remember everything about it. I love all the matches on it, top to bottom. So it's good. So like when you picked this match, I was really excited because I got to like watch like one of my childhood memories that I really love. So it took me back to being 12.
take me down to the paradise city. Yeah. So that'll bring us to our last match, right? Edge versus Orton.
Yeah, Edge and Orton, Vengeance 2004.
Yeah, this was your match. So I've
See,
been on record as saying I'm not really an Edge head. I never really saw Edge as being top guy, top build talent. I've
I think he's a top talent in the sense that like the Miz and Christian were.
mhm.
It's nice to have a run here, maybe a second or third run, but for an extended period of time, he
This
was
match
never.
right here, fantastic. But
Yeah,
Intercontinental spot, yeah, I can see an Intercontinental
mhm.
spot. But when he was the man forever and like
And he was,
facing Undertaker and beating
he's taking on like Batista, the Undertaker, JBL, like
John
these
Cena,
yeah, taking on these monsters, and you're like, I don't see it. Like he did have like the advantage of being like like the dirty guy, like he would do whatever it took, not the celebration with Lita.
yeah, hey,
That
yeah,
was kind of dirty too. No, but like he was able to utilize like underhanded tactics, so that kind of did justify it. But yeah, I liked him as overall as the champion because he did represent Canada. Um, but I just if he wasn't the champion, I would still support him.
hmm
Yeah, like, it
hmm
wasn't like I felt like oh they're holding him back. Like no, I thought
yeah.
he was good.
Hey, Jesus says he's gonna change my mind on Edge and show me matches, so we'll see. I heard from Jesus yesterday. He said he was sick, so I'll see when I see him. He said he was getting better. He was sick when I had him.
He needs some more time to find those matches.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's digging deep.
Yeah, remember last podcast? He said
Yeah.
we're gonna do it soon. It's been a while. It's been a while.
You're going all the old hits.
Let's see.
Yeah, so this match here, I picked it because Attitude Era, as much as I love it, the Intercontinental title lost a lot of its prestige, I guess, if you would. Um, it swapped hands way too often. You had
What? You didn't like Road Dogg as your champion, bro? Come on.
well, that's the thing. Like you and nothing against a lot of these, like a
Get
lot of
on
these
the
guys,
whole
a lot of
train.
these guys I like, but to me, China, Jeff Jarrett, D'Lo, Ken Shamrock,
Macho Man.
Road Dogg,
You,
Billy Gunn, these X-Pac, these are not intercontinental.
what? They don't fit up there with Macho Man, Randy
Like,
Savage,
like Jeff Jarrett,
Ultimate
maybe,
Warrior,
but I feel like Jeff Jarrett at this point
Roddy
was a little,
Piper.
he was a little gone. Like, look, and it was passed around too much. It was like you'd win it on the pay-per-view and then you'd lose it on the next night on Raw. And it happened for such a long time, and then finally you get to like the early 2000s and it's kind of built up. They're giving it to Triple H to kind of like bring it back, but then they buy WCW and now there's the US title. Now you have that. So like, these titles, like there were so many of them that it kind of got lost in the shuffle. And then when Orton finally got the title and they put it on for a solid 8 months because they were referencing how he has the longest title reign since Honky Tonk Man. So they're putting him up there like they want him to bring this title back up, and he did a phenomenal job as the Intercontinental as champion. He was the bad guy in Evolution. He wasn't quite number 1 or 2 necessarily, but he could go out there and put on amazing matches. And here you see Edge, who was the champion a few times before. Then he went on the crazy tag team run. Now he's single again, and he's biting at the chomp. He wants to get back in. He's back from neck surgeries and all these setbacks, and now finally he's healthy. And these guys put on I think it's almost a half an hour long this match, and they do everything in this match. And I feel like this kind of brought the Intercontinental title back up to where it belonged.
This was a lot of Orton's pace. It's like I'm gonna do a lot of my holds. I'm slowing down the match to my pace, and then Edge
He's
gets
the
a move
Viper,
in.
man. He's
Yeah.
got to suck the guy in so he can
Yeah.
strike.
And then Edge gets a move in, and then he's back at it. He reverses, starts getting his locks in, starts working on the hand, starts getting a headlock, and just trying to break Edge down. And that's the majority of the match. And Edge landing missile drop kicks off the top rope, even standing drop kicks.
Edge would hit these power moves, and then
Give
when
you
he
a
would go
taste.
and then as he'd go to like pick Orton up, it's like thumb to the eye, or he'd trip him.
Ric
And
Flair
then
tactics, bro.
100% evolution, baby.
Mm-hmm. That song
yeah,
was pretty cool by Motorhead.
Motorhead. Everything by Motorhead's fucking great.
Yeah, Lemmy, R.I.P.
All of them, all the original lineup.
Hell yeah, brother.
We love you guys.
Let's see.
Like Orton always was able to just, like you said, like he it's his pace. He slows it down. He does what he wants to do. Edge gives you a taste of his offense, but then it's right back to Orton.
Yeah, and Orton was doing the heel shit. He's like, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna fight this match. He was trying to take his belt and then making Edge go get him. He did that a couple times.
Yeah, the first time he does it was like the match starts off kind of like pretty even keel. And then Edge, Orton gets some offense, but then Edge reverses it, starts getting some offense, and Orton's like, oh god, okay, yeah, he's serious. I'm out of here, actually.
He's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Yeah, no, there's not a lot to say, but it's a great match. It's a fantastic match.
And for these guys to go as long as they did, to go almost a half an hour, with Edge's body breaking. And Orton really getting the time to shine, not because when he was in Evolution, he was the Intercontinental Champion, but he was always in tag matches with Batista or with Flair or in 6-man tags. So like he never really he would have a lot of like matches on his own, but a lot of them are also to spotlight him in with other guys to help push him forward more. And when you see these matches like he had with Edge, and you could see what he could do on his own, you could see the future. Like I think the next month that he actually beats Benoit for the title, so you can kind of see that they were building something really good up.
Yeah, no, it was an awesome match. Even though I don't have a lot to say on it, like I said, there was a lot of Randy Orton submission, blocking Edge, trying to break him down, and Edge trying to get some offense, giving you a taste, getting stopped, giving you a taste, getting stopped, until ultimately. Orton exposes a turnbuckle. Edge gets to use it on him, bounces him off of it, hits the spear that Orton had originally leapfrogged in a pretty cool spot on Edge, and Edge got thrown into the corner. But this time he hits it after this guy hits the turnbuckle. 1, 2, 3. We have a new Intercontinental Champion, baby.
And Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler do such a good job selling. Like JR selling Edge and Jerry the King selling Orton, like talking about like, oh, Orton, he's gonna be on GQ one day. Look at that body.
Yeah.
Really talking and JR talking about Edge's hardships of, the great tag runs, getting betrayed by his brother, then the neck surgeries that put him out for over a year, like and everything that he's had to go through in his career to finally have the time to shine on his own. In singles competition, so that really did help add a lot to the match.
Yeah, 100%. Well, that was the last match, Ryan. That's 40 years of the Intercontinental Champion, the Working Man's title. Crack a beer for the Working Man. I want to thank you, Ryan, for helping me once again. Another week, another episode. We'll see if you can help me out next week. We'll see what we can do. Maybe I'll get a poll out this time.
I don't care when we do it, but I am putting it out now that whenever we decide to do it, I will be doing the Bret Hart show. How we did Austin and Razor Ramon.
Let's do it next week then.
You want to do that one next?
Yeah, we'll do that one next.
All right, cool. Yeah.
All right. Like I said, thank you for helping me out with this 40th anniversary of the Intercontinental Championship. Some awesome matches.
I'm happy that we, because we were talking last week. I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but maybe putting the poll out and seeing what we could do. And then as we were discussing things quickly, I forget who one of us mentioned the Intercontinental Championship, and you had said like, "Hey, let's just do that." And
You put the link out to the special
oh,
that
okay,
was going on,
yeah,
and I'm like,
okay.
oh, okay, boom.
Yeah, and like I said to you, like I said, I love the Intercontinental title, right? So I watch as many of the matches as I can on DVD, but I only have so many. Went to a secondhand bookstore and they had the Intercontinental Championship history that they put out maybe about 10, 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I fucking watched that thing like back to front over and over. Plus, I got with with the network, I have access to all these other matches. So when we're talking about it, I'm like, oh shit, like, okay, Rap, we're gonna be doing like a 7 hour show of our own because I don't know what matches to pick because I have so many. Like, I
Yeah.
could go for hours talking about like some of the matches that this title has been a part of. So
Yeah. So please go ahead and subscribe, rate and review. Anything to promote, Ryan?
NFL, go Pack, go!
What? Nah, don't bring that bullshit here. Damn, did it freeze up? Did Ryan hang up on me? Go Pack, go. All right. Well, I'll see you guys next time on the Full Wheel Podcast. For Ryan, I'm Donkey Trent. So peace out, guys.